Hello there, this is Brianna. Welcome to my channel. I'm an entrepreneur with no job, but I do have a dream and this is my journey. On this channel, I talk about my experience trying to attain success, whatever that is. Today, I have a journal entry for you. It's day 171 of my entrepreneurship journey. I'm just going to issue a warning right off the bat that this might be melodramatic because I am stressed out by this endeavor I've taken on, which is direct sales. So my overall goal is what I'm really interested in is creating an online business. I'm a writer, so I started out working on my blog, but I'm just kind of like trying to figure that out right now. And until I have more clear direction, I have to figure out something to do something. So I'm working on that. I also would like to be a business coach, but I don't feel that having a blog would really qualify me to coach people about their businesses. So I thought that Mary Kay would provide me more business experience, and I felt like it was a good learning experience for me in general because I always for some reason felt like I needed to be comfortable with sales. Also, in the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki says that everyone should be able to sell. I think he worked at Xerox for a time and he learned a lot from that experience. So I wanted to have that experience, and I was in this very inspired place after 21 days of meditation and signed up. Here I am. The problem is the basic tenets of the job are all of my fears realized, because you have to put yourself out there and get people to buy into you in order to buy your products. I have heard that sales is a lot about self-esteem because you have to feel, because people are really buying the salesperson. And people don't like to call Mary Kay sales, but it is sales. I'm selling a product. You have to buy into the salesperson. So if that person is not reflecting value, then people aren't going to want to buy from you. And this experience is just showing me how much of a self-esteem problem I actually have. Before we get to talking about the details of why everything sucks, I want to pose this question. So what if we didn't have boundaries that were created consciously or subconsciously by fear? How much more could we accomplish? So keep that marinating in the back of your mind. I'm just going to give you the rundown of what the problem is. So with this business, pretty much any direct sales business, you need to be able to introduce people to your products, and you kind of have to follow up with them, sometimes more than once. And you also kind of like have to ask for the sale. So if somebody's interested in something, you need to help them get to a place of making a decision, yes or no. So for me, I had to initially have a party, and I've sent out my invites and I got tons of excuses, typical. 2 people came, didn't buy anything. That whole thing was stressful because I was having to like ask people to support me. And also doing this in general is hard because I have a preconception about direct sales, and I don't want people to have negative perceptions of me based on their past experiences with direct sales. So I don't want people to hear that I'm a consultant and then automatically assume I'm going to annoy the crap out of them. I also have to ask people to show up and follow up. I had another party this Monday, and you would be amazed at how much stress I was under because I invited people to the party and I had to then, this was, I don't know, this is like the nail in the coffin. I had to ask them if they were coming, and it took actual courage for me to get that done. I'm uncomfortable with the fact it took courage for me to simply ask someone, am I expecting you on Monday? But that's where I am in my self-esteem. So I ended up with 3 women, and I fully expected it to just end up being like one person. But it was 3 women. We had a great time. But I was so stressed all weekend. Not because I was afraid of the party. I think part of me was afraid that people would actually show up, and I spent so much time worried about them not showing up. I wasn't prepared for them to show up. But I was just pretty stressed, but couldn't get out of it. I did think a few times, it would be really nice to just quit, but I can't quit because I've committed to a year. I feel like a year should be enough time for me to face this fear and change and grow. But I'm hoping at the end of the year, it doesn't feel like so much of a demand that I can continue to do it. But just spending time, like, there's no way to go but like toward realizing the fear. That was hard. I was really stressed. I ate a lot of cupcakes. I baked Tres Leches cupcakes, which are really good. And I ate 4 in one day, 3 days in a row. And I ate some chocolate that was in the freezer that my husband brought home from Germany in 2016. It was good, but I'm surprised. The other thing I'm worried about, or that stresses me, is reaching out to people that I have not met, because a big part of this is getting referrals from others. So I text all these people and say such and such thinks that you would enjoy this experience, and get no response, which I don't like because it makes me feel like maybe I was bothering them, or it's discouraging. But then I had one person ask me if I was with Mary Kay, and then she said, don't text me, and she blocked me. And that was like, that really shook me because I hadn't done anything to her, and I don't want to have that impact on people at all. But I think that I can't focus on those things because immediately after that, somebody did respond and say, yes, they're interested. So I was trying to be conscious of not focusing on the negative, but it still like physically feels bad. If I think about it, it just feels bad. Whereas when I think about somebody saying yes, it doesn't feel as good as the other one feels bad. But honestly, she must have had her own baggage. That didn't have anything to do with me. Maybe she had a really bad experience previously, or maybe she's just a bitch. I mean, it could be any number of things, and I can't take them personally because I didn't do anything to her. I think there are so many ways to just like what's the word? What's the word when you make something not true? Discredit all of the fears I have. And I actually did, and I wrote it down. And I want to like continue to face my fears so that I have to learn that the opposite is true. I have to learn that people aren't responsible for telling me what I'm worth. I have to learn that people don't find me like I'm worth being around. So one of my issues is to invite people to a party and I don't want to ask people to support me by coming to a party, because I feel like, well, maybe if they don't like the product, then they will feel like they've wasted their time. But what about me? Like, I'm still providing value. Maybe they want to be around me. I'm talking about people I know. Honestly, though, and I'm pretty honest. I feel like I say honestly a lot, but I'm a very honest person and very direct. I had a really hard time with my wedding because it was hard for me to expect people to pay money to travel to my event and participate in something that's based on me and my husband. That was very hard for me, and I didn't realize I had that self-esteem issue until the wedding. I consider my wedding a traumatic experience in my life, but don't worry, I've been through counseling. However, I was just worried that I could invite all these people and then they wouldn't come, and that would make me feel like I wasn't important enough, or I can invite people and they come and they don't appreciate being there, and then they like take away from my experience of it. So I ended up having 38 people at my wedding. It's very small. It was very nice though. But with it, like the people closest to me, I honestly feel like they validated the fears I had. I didn't feel like I had support during that experience. Anyway, I want to work through these fears. I think this is exactly why I've been led to participate in this company, because like I said, I think everyone needs to be able to sell. And Robert Kiyosaki said that direct sales or network marketing, um, people should really look into that in terms of financial prosperity. So I want to overcome this, and I'm just kind of I am kind of excited about what will be available to me once I'm over these fears and this self-esteem issue. What can I do from there? I was reading the book, which I'm sure you guys have heard the same thing other places, but like make a savings, not a savings goal, make an income goal, or write a check to yourself. And so, like many people do, I did 100,000 dated December 31st. The book went on to say it can't be so high that it doesn't really seem realistic to you because your brain will ignore it. So I wrote a lower goal, and that felt a lot better to me. I was like, okay, I can actually strive for this or envision this happening. But it disappointed me that I didn't feel like I was worth $100,000, which in the scheme of millions is not that much. So I really am interested in increasing my self-esteem. I think it'll help all my work. I think self-esteem was the issue, was the reason that I wasn't able to get my blog really going like I planned, like I had anticipated in the fall. So I think this will be good. Like I said, I committed to a year, but I'm hoping it doesn't take a year for me to learn these lessons. I really hope that other people hear what I'm saying and kind of think about the ways that fear is impacting you and your choices, and choose, like I'm being forced to face them and hopefully resolve them. All right. Thank you for hearing me out. Please let me know if you relate to this or what your particular fears are. Got to get back to work. Have a good day.